So I'm here with Julian from Banging Drum. Julian
Welcome.
Emery, please tell me who you are and what you do.
Okay, well, my name's Julian Emery, obviously, and
Yeah.
I run a company called Banging Drum. We're a creative agency with a difference. It's myself and my business partner Andrew Rosen have set up Banging Drum.
Yeah.
I've known Andrew for over 20 years now, and we first met when we were in London, working for some of the sort of bigger brand houses down there, like Landor and Enterprise IG and Wolf Olins. And we were both in and out freelancing for these big brand houses for years. And then eventually, I didn't see him for a couple of years, and then I just ended up renting desk space from him. Funnily enough,
Right.
he was sort of renting this office, and his business partner had left. So I sort of got back with him then, and we formed a small company called Uncle, and we gained some really good clients in London. And we worked really well together, and we started to build up a bit of a network of other people other skill sets, other people with different skill sets for us, which we still work with today, actually. So Uncle sort of became a sort of technology company, and we had various investors in that company. One day there was a bit of a hostile takeover from our investors,
All right.
and we decided to leave the company. We still retain shares in that company, but we left. So then at the time my wife was pregnant, and she was from Manchester, and she wanted to move back to Manchester. So I thought, well, this is a good point for me to break away and move up to Manchester. That was about 10 years ago, like I say. Since then I was working in various agencies up here in Liverpool and Manchester, and I've been freelancing in and out of different agencies. And then I got
doing websites or
doing websites, doing anything digital, sort of design really, and branding, that type of thing.
Right.
Anything creative really, and software design, that type of thing. And then I got hold of Andrew again, and we started working on various projects over the last few years. I set up an e-commerce company. It's a long trail of incidents here, but I set up an e-commerce company which I ran for about 6 years, which unfortunately it did fail because I was focusing around small businesses.
Yes.
And small businesses, as I discovered, don't like spending that much money on themselves every month, so to promote themselves. So after that, I said to Andrew, look, let's just set up a new company. Let's pull everything together. We've got a lot of experience. We know a lot of people. So what we have, we're sort of a virtual agency. We don't have offices.
Yeah.
We don't like the big overhead, because I think both of us were tired of running businesses with offices, and our overhead was so high that our fees were so high to our clients,
Right.
and it didn't give us any sort of differentiation between other agencies.
Right.
So we've decided to, everyone that we work with is dotted around the country, and we've worked with all of them for at least 15 years.
All right. So it's established.
So we know them really well, and we know their skills, and they really are top of their game. So we provide a great service, but without the overhead. We're not passing our overheads on to our clients, so we can be very competitive.
Yes.
But I think the main thing for us is the experience that we have. We are seasoned branding and digital creatives, and Manchester is filled to the brim with these young agencies that are popping up all over the place, and they all look the same, and they all claim the same.
Yeah.
But they don't have the experience that we have. We understand brands. We understand what the brand spirit is all about. What are the driving forces behind a brand, and understanding the touch points of that brand's got to hit. So we're competing with younger agencies in terms of people's ages within the agencies. I'm making myself sound like an old fogey here, but we have got. Both Andrew and myself have got 25 years experience in branding and digital design, and I think we offer something really quite special because we can really get to the nitty gritty of what a brand is all about.
So you're not tempted to move to Media City then, no?
I did actually have offices in media city, but I found myself
you did try it,
sitting there on my own,
right?
Spending a couple of £1,000 a month in an office. I thought, well, because all the other guys are all dotted around the country, so
Right.
I just got rid of it, and I work from home.
There was no point.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's other places that I can sort of pop into town, and sort of hot desk here and there sometimes, but generally I work from home these days.
Was that an expensive lesson to learn, that you don't need to be in a managed office, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think in London that was the biggest. Yeah, I mean, that was the biggest or most expensive lesson to learn when I was in London with Uncle. Andrew and myself did the typical agency thing where you get all excited, you go and rent really nice sort of loft type offices, and you fill all your seats with people, and then all of a sudden you've got a £50,000 a month overhead. And the work starts to dry up.
Right.
So I'm just not doing that again. I don't. So that's why I have all these sort of satellite people around me.
Yes.
I've got great web designers. I've got great systems architects. I've got great app developers. I've got great designers.
Who haven't you got that you're looking for?
No one. Actually, I've got pretty much someone to cover everything apart from
Videographer.
A videographer, potentially, yeah, or a good drone pilot.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, but I'm actually training to be a drone pilot at the moment.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I'm sort of quite into that as a hobby anyway. So I'm gonna do it properly.
Just don't do it near the airport.
No. No.
Just don't know. So where is the business? What stage is the business today?
We've got a few good clients, regular clients. I mean, we're doing quite a varied sort of range of work, from interface design. We've just picked up a new client actually, where we're sort of redesigning their whole platform interface. It's a new website. I'm not really allowed to talk about it, unfortunately, because a lot of the things we work on, we're under NDAs. So we're working on a big interface project for him. We've got a couple of big clients down in London, because Andrew's based down in London, you see, so he sort of focuses on the London side of the business, and I focus on the northwest.
Right. So he finds clients in
the south, yeah.
And you find them in
the... Although our biggest client in London actually came, I found it. So someone I met up here who moved down there.
Oh, right.
So yeah, they're we got sort of quite a sort of nice handful of clients. We're not trying to expand too big.
Right.
We like to keep it under control. We don't like over trading and producing poor quality work. So I think it's at a stage where we've got a nice sort of nucleus of clients.
Yeah.
And I think it's making that jump, that sort of bridging the chasm, I think it's called, which is a really famous chart where you have your sort of early adopters or your early set of clients, and then to get to the masses you have to jump this bridge. And I'm trying to work out how to do that at the moment,
right.
Without becoming financially strapped, because as I say, I've learnt lessons in the past about spending too much money.
Yeah. So what, I mean, what do you do? I mean, you've got your clients already at the moment. Do you get them to invest more in their websites?
Yeah, I mean, part of our job is, we will work with a client, and we will make recommendations for them anyway. So so for example, if I go in and meet a new client, obviously they've already got a website. I'm not going to go in and say, oh, you need a brand new website, because I think a lot of people say that, and it doesn't. 9 times out of 10, the new website doesn't deliver that much more than the existing website. So what we try and do is look at the user experience and the customer journeys through those websites, and we make recommendations about how that might be improved. So, because it's all about experience. I mean, people don't read websites anymore, they scan them. Okay, so we look at how the content hierarchy works, for example. What's being delivered first, what's important, what's not important. And we sort of make recommendations, and if they want to do that, then they can do it, or they can put it into their next year's budget, or whatever they want to do. Obviously, a lot of our clients come to us with briefs. Right. They say, we need this doing. We need a video doing of X, Y, and Z. Of our hotel or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's completely different every day. That's the thing I like about what we do. And like I say, having satellite people around the country,
yes,
they often bring in a little bit here and there as well. I mean,
Right.
they all run their own little businesses in their own right. They're all
Yes.
self-employed.
Yes.
We don't employ anyone.
Right.
But it's like, we sort of took the WordPress sort of business philosophy of, we're not going to have massive offices. WordPress, I think they employ 600 and something people now. But they don't have offices. There's no offices for WordPress. They all hot desk around various sort of WeWork type places, and they all work from home.
Right.
And that's what we do, and it just works for us because it gives us the flexibility to be flexible with our clients.
What type of websites can you do? Is it I'd say bog standard, but somebody with just a service, or is it somebody with products, or
it's anything really? The e-commerce company that I was running over the last 6 years, I actually came up with the idea for it. It was an online marketplace solution.
Right.
So it's basically like Amazon in a box. So
Right.
you could have was you could fire up a marketplace, and you could have as many individual stores from individual businesses within that marketplace. And it was very successful for a while. Theo Paphitis, he took one for his SBS Sunday business crew.
Business Sunday,
the Prince's Trust took one. We work with various big publishers like Archer and Johnson Press. They have marketplaces. So we built that from scratch. But typically, we do quite a lot of stuff on WordPress sites, and I think WordPress has a bit of a bad reputation for some people that I'm coming across. They're saying that WordPress is cheating and stuff, but WordPress is an incredibly powerful platform these days. And one of our bigger clients, Houdini, down in London, we've built them an enormous WordPress platform, and it works incredibly well. So, but we can do bespoke stuff, pretty much anything. We've got such a wide range of developers, so we've got different languages, we've got standard PHP front-end developers, we've got .NET, MVC developers, we've got Ruby on Rails, all these types of languages, so we've got someone that can do pretty much anything. Mobile apps, we've got one guy that we tend to work with on that side of things. He's very good. But we don't get an awful lot of apps, to be honest.
No,
not these days. I mean, it's more sort of progressive web apps we're sort of tending to do, because I think a lot of the companies we've come across so far, I don't think they realise the budget of creating a proper app, a native app. We had one guy recently. He's got a great idea for a barbering solution. It's like a barbering app, and he wanted this all singing, all dancing app, and he had £10,000. It's like, well, you're not going to do it. It's impossible. He wanted a native app on Apple and Android, and it's like, well, no. So we came up with a solution, and say, let's do a native, sort of progressive web app to get you started. But as it turns out, we didn't end up working with them in the end. I don't think it was that serious, but. It's that type of thing, though. To create apps, you've got to have the money to do it properly. You've got to have the money to maintain it, upgrade it. It's an ongoing cost, and market it. Yeah, and I think that's a lot of the problem that we've sort of seen over the last few years is people want certain things, and then they don't have the money to market it. They have these great ideas. Let's build this. Okay, well, how are you going to tell everyone about it? It's the old adage of you can bring a horse to water, but it's no guarantee it's going to drink, and that's what we try and do. We want to make sure that whatever job we do is a great job, in its own right, but people will actually come and use that product. Otherwise, it's pointless. So that's a big part of what we do as well. Now, we do work with a lot of partners, because we're good at what we're good at. And we don't pretend to be good at other stuff that we're not good at. Things like social media marketing. We don't touch that ourselves, but we use various partners that do that, and they're really good at it.
Experts in
they're
their
experts
right.
at it, so we use the experts. And quite often we will partner our clients directly with them, because it gets the best result for them. But like I say, every job is different. Every job's got its own requirements. But we use partners.
Yeah, I suppose it is difficult. What key points would you say makes a good website? And I suppose that depends if it's a product or service, isn't it? But
yeah, I think, well, let's take a product website. Let's say you've got an e-commerce website. What makes it good is that people buy from it. If people buy from it regularly, it's working.
Yeah.
You'd be amazed at the amount of e-commerce website that no one buys from. One, because they don't know they're there, but two, because the buying process is really difficult. Whoever's designed and built it has made it really awkward.
Right.
I think a lot of people these days overcomplicate solutions, especially when it comes to websites and e-commerce. They'll overcomplicate it. The payment gateway might not be working properly, or it might look unsecure, or they haven't bothered putting an SSL certificate on it. All these things you have to do, make sure it's solid and secure, people can trust it. On a brochure website or a typical corporate website, the thing that makes it work is the user experience. To make sure, anyone going to that website needs to understand what that website's about instantly, and they need to be able to get to the information without having to go searching for everything they're looking for. That's what I was talking about earlier. Excuse me. The hierarchy of content is really, really important. I think a lot of people go in. I'm dealing with it. Like I said, I'm dealing with a client at the moment. We're redesigning his platform. It's half built, but he's got his developer to build it, and it doesn't work. So now because they haven't done any wireframes. They didn't even do any sketches before the wireframes. He's literally just gone straight and started building it page by page. And all of a sudden, the user experience, the user journey is unusable. You can't use the website because it's confusing. I mean, I showed it to one of our developers last week, and he said it took him 45 minutes, and he's still looking at it. He still doesn't know what it was. He couldn't work out what it was trying to do. So the delivery of information, the delivery of content is really important, and that's what we get right first. The design. I mean, if you actually look at a chart. If I remember right, it starts off sketches down the bottom, then it says wireframes, prototype, design, and it goes up in a big triangle like this. And the design part is only a very small part of it, because the design, good design is good design, but if it doesn't work on the platform, then it's a failed job. So getting the whole journey right first is key to everything. It really is, and then making it look pretty at the end. That's the easy bit.
What's a wireframe?
A wireframe is basically just a very sort of straightforward black and white sort of. It's almost like a posh sketch of say a web page that you can see what content is on that web page, or what things are being clicked and going where. So we always tie it in with the sort of user journey, the user flow.
Yeah.
And so we use the user flow to create the wireframes. We use the wireframes to create the prototype, and then we use the prototype to build, and then we lay the design over the top of it. So getting that user journey right is the most important. I think that's why you see so many user experience designers popping up all over the place these days, because it is the most important part of a website journey. Because if that doesn't work, then the website doesn't work, in my opinion.
Is having too many graphics on a website a hindrance, or?
For me, less is always more. To be honest, I think if you overclutter something, what it does, it creates confusion for a viewer. And like I say, people scan websites these days; they don't read them.
Right.
That's why explainer videos are becoming more and more popular on websites. Because I can watch a 30-second video of what a business is all about.
Yeah.
In 30 seconds and understand it. But if I don't have that, I might have to read 3 or 4 pages and hope I understand it.
Right.
Okay. So it's like I say, it's everyone's different. Every client is different, but the hierarchy of how content is delivered is really important, and that's our job. That's what we do. So
would you say having a 30-second video on the home page?
A lot of people do that, yeah. A lot of people do that. We tend to sort of put it somewhere where you can click it and it won't dominate the homepage, because obviously good design is, we want it to look aesthetically nice as well.
Would you have that under the About Us
potentially, yeah.
tab?
Yeah, probably. 9 times out of 10 you probably would, yeah.
Right.
So, but like I say, explainer videos are really popular, and we do those. We do a lot of motion graphics at Banging Drum. We create quite a few infographics for people as well. So, like I say, one of our clients in London, they do a lot of infographics, and they spend a lot of time getting their in-house designer creating these really complicated charts and infographics that flow down, and they're really sort of long, tall infographics. They're beautifully done, but to try and sit there and work it out is like, that's a task for anyone. But so what we're now we're going in. This guy's giving us the graphics that he's creating, and we're animating it, and with a voiceover, so that someone can just understand it really easily, and it works so much better. So
Right.
It's about. It's all about delivering content. That's what it's about.
And what would you say, I mean, you mentioned about the fact that you work with businesses that you've known for many years now, that are individuals in their own right with their experience, but what is unique to Banging Drum? I mean, why should somebody contact you?
I think that's a good question, actually. But I think the main thing is our experience, really, and our heritage of design. We come from strong design backgrounds, Andrew and myself.
Yes.
And we have very clear views on what a brand should be doing and how it should be perceived by the people coming into contact with that brand.
Yeah.
And I think it really is. I mean, like, as I say, Manchester is filled, or the Northwest is filled with, all these sort of youthful design agencies, which is great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not putting them down.
Yeah.
But they don't have the experience that us more mature.
You're talking about the millennials now, aren't you?
We're talking about the millennials versus.
Let's not go there with that.
So traditional design.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to cost the earth. It really doesn't. And we're not Pentagram, but we're not two guys who are 21 years old just starting out in the business. We're sort of it's somewhere in between. But we've worked with people like Pentagram in the past. We've done some really strong stuff. We've worked with some of the biggest brands in the world.
Yes.
Andrew and myself, and we've done some great work over the years. And I think it's bringing that experience to Manchester that's going to set us apart from the others.
And do you look around, say, Manchester for creativity? Do you look at ideas around you?
Always
get out the house and
and
see
always.
visual.
I mean,
what people are looking at.
I'm a big believer in that ideas can come from anywhere or anyone for that matter.
Yeah.
But I'm always on the lookout for inspiration. We both Andrew and myself are always going to design fairs or design museums and seeing what's new, and we try and keep up to date with all the sort of latest design trends. It's important that we do that, because obviously what we don't want to do is allow our work to look tired.
Yeah.
So it's important that we keep up to date with things.
Right.
So that's just part of the job, to be honest. It's something we've been interested in our entire career. We're always looking at typography. We're always looking at how colour is used.
Yeah. That
type of thing. I mean, colour for us at the moment is a big thing. We're trying to bring more colour into everything we're doing, and letting that be the driving force. And our colour can completely dictate what a brand is. And I think that's really interesting, and doing stuff with sort of new technologies as well, which is quite nice. I mean, we do quite a lot of stuff with Premiere Pro and After Effects these days, and animating things in for our clients. So creating videos is big, but it all comes down to whether it's working for the brand. If it doesn't work for the brand, then it's wrong.
Yeah.
And that's the sort of expertise that we have. We know that everything has to be consistent. It has to have continuity through it all. It has to hold together. Otherwise, you start creating random bits here and there, especially across social media. It's just going to undermine the sort of strength of the brand, and that goes against everything we do, really.
And I suppose a lot of things affect the way we look at a website, whether it be on a desktop, an iPad, mobile phone.
Yeah, Absolutely.
You know, it all counts, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And most websites, it's always mobile first. You look at because most people look at things on their mobile phones these days.
Yeah.
So we always start here. That's really important as well.
About the devices,
Yeah.
looking at a website on a desktop, an iPad or a mobile phone.
Exactly.
The website's got to be compatible, hasn't it?
It does. It has to be
fully
responsive. So no matter what device you're viewing it on, it works. But it's like I say, it's not just about websites for us. Websites is a big part of what we do.
Yeah.
But it's about creating the brand identity, the guidelines. How is this brand going to work? The brand spirit, if you like. That's what is behind everything we do. We understand the brand, because if you don't understand what a brand is trying to do or be, how can you communicate that brand? It's impossible. You can't. You're going to get it wrong every time. And this is where it comes back to experience with us.
Yes.
We understand how things are meant to work, and we all have those clients. Every agency will have those clients where you've designed a website, it looks beautiful, you're really happy with it, and the client will always say, "Yeah, but can't my logo be so much bigger?" And it happens more often than I care to.
That's the biggest challenge, would you say?
It's not the biggest challenge, but clients' input, often can be wrong as well. So we sort of try and guide the clients as well, because not everyone's an expert in branding.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people out there that are far more educated on this than we are. Like I say, we're not Pentagram. We're not, but we are trying to. We're trying to match that sort of level. Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
In terms of understanding and delivery,
to a budget.
Anyone can build a website.
Yeah.
My sister could build a website. She's pretty computer illiterate, but she could probably build a website if she wanted to. I've come across so many clients that built their own websites, and wonder why they don't work. But as far as they're concerned, it's a website and it's on the internet. What we do, we make sure everything's a lot more solid.
And user friendly.
Yeah. It's all about user experience on a website.
Right.
That's what it's all about. And because if a user has a bad experience of your website, they probably won't come back. And
how do people get in touch with you, Julian? What's the best way?
Either email, which is just julian@bangingdrum.com, or there's contact details on our website, which is just bangingdrum.com.
Julian Emery, thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Cheers.